Hey everyone, Jaime Kalman Chipko here with Inspired Healing and Awareness, and thank you for joining me for a little Jaime Magic. How's your magic doing today? I hope it's magical. So, I just did a video recently about I was sharing my own personal experience with making some really big life changes. I was going to be making some changes in my work, how much I'll be working, also branching into a new area of my work that involves empowering parents to raise empowered kids. And I'm really excited to start that venture, but it's a lot of work and there's a lot that goes into that. So I started to feel really overwhelmed by all of the creative opportunities, but also the business side of things, and really just how challenging that can be. And here I am coming from a place of having a very, I've been nurturing my practice as a very small, intimate practice. I am mostly a stay-at-home mom, and I have maintained my healing practice for 14 years. Even when my daughter was born, I took a little time off, and then I started to, continue to take on some clients here and there. Also continued to be a guest expert on different summits for people. And I have continued to work and be very active in my field and continue to study and recertify and all that good stuff. But the idea of taking my practice from where it is right now, which is more of like a part-time experience so that I can be, mostly like the primary care person for my daughter, making that change brings up a lot for me. It brings up, some of it's exciting and some of it I feel resistance to. So I wanted to share with you a little bit of specific information to piggyback on the video that I recently did where I was sharing this personal experience with you and talking about why we have this physical experience of, when we're setting a goal and we're moving towards it, that we can move from being really excited about it and totally inspired and fired up to exhausted and just feeling like there's no way, it's hopeless, I'll never do it, right? What is that about? Well, years and years ago, when I was taking my practice from part-time to full-time the first time around, pre-marriage, pre-kids, I really struggled. I struggled because I had a part-time business model and I was like, I don't know how to do this full-time. So I found a wonderful coach by the name of David Nagel, who he does incredible work with money mindset. And because at the time I really did notice that I had a major money mindset issue. I had a lot of scarcity beliefs. I had a lot of blocks around charging for my services, increasing my my wealth, and it was very helpful to find someone who could take these really woo-woo ideas like universal law and like law of attraction and all that stuff, but really ground it in the nuts and bolts reality of having a business, running a business with integrity that also can help create abundance. And he just does a wonderful job with helping people with their money mindset and also to take their businesses into, incredible realms financially. So his website is davidnagel.com, and he's got a great blog too. Anyway, I used to go to his seminars, and I would do his. Did a lot of live trainings and some recorded trainings, and I saw him both live and also enjoyed a lot of his. They were teleseminars back in the day. Now I'm sure everything is on Zoom, but. Anyway, I very much enjoyed him. And one of his concepts that he taught that I just loved, that I just felt like the visual presentation helped me so much to understand this. He taught about how we are subconsciously programmed to stay exactly where we are. Okay, so you have your conscious self, right? And your conscious self is where your goals lie, right? You can consciously think of something that you would like to be, do, or have in your life, right? That's a conscious desire. So then you consciously, meaning you put your conscious awareness on the plan, you create the plan, you start to put the steps in place, you consciously design a way of getting from here to there, right? But as you are moving forward towards this goal, whatever it is for you, you start to notice that along the way, you either start to run out of steam, or you get really distracted, or life takes over, and all of a sudden all this other stuff is coming at you, and you just cannot. You have to derail, and you have to switch gears and go back to life over here. The change that you want is here, but you're here and you just can't do both. So why does that happen? Right? Well, we could say that, clearly it's happening from outside of me. It's all of these external stimulus that are, causing me to have to, take a step back away from my goals and do something else, or go back to life the way it was before I even set this goal. But what David talks about is that we are subconsciously programmed to always be on the lookout for any threats to three specific areas of our psyche. And those three specific areas are love, self-esteem, and security. So I've been sharing this with my clients, helping them understand, like, hey, listen, if you can understand that you are hardwired to protect the way that other people see and feel about you, the way that they perceive you, the way that they love and accept you. If you also understand that you are hardwired to protect yourself against any kind of threats to your physical or financial safety, right? And you also understand that you are hardwired neurologically, you've got this mechanism that is designed to protect you against any threats to, your self-esteem in terms of, what you believe that you can do, or what others believe that you can be, do, or have, right? The way that we are, there's the way that we are loved, and then there's the way that we are accepted, and then there's the way that we feel about ourselves, right? Our belief in ourselves, our trust and acceptance in ourselves. And then, of course, there's our hardwired need to be physically and financially safe. So David used to use this example in some of his trainings, where he would say, having money is not the most important thing, but money does touch everything that is important to you. And that when you begin to try to bring more money into your life, you have to do things that will cause you to push up against your subconscious programs that are there to protect you, right? And that don't want you to do anything that might possibly threaten love, self-esteem, or security in your life. And trying to raise your income, however that is, whether it's asking for a raise or charging more for your services, whatever it is going to ask you to do, it's going to require of you that you do things, say things, and be things, and have things that are going to change all of that, right? So we might be afraid, for example, I know I ran into this when I was, I needed to raise my rates because I was charging practically nothing for my sessions with my clients. And I was literally like, I remember just living off of a credit card because I wasn't making enough to support myself to be present to my clients the way that I was trying to be at the time. And I realized when I needed to raise my rates, what came up for me subconsciously was this fear that all of a sudden my clients would think that I was just in it for the money, that I was greedy, that money meant more to me than their healing, or that they wouldn't think I was a good person anymore, or that they wouldn't think I was worth it, right? Because maybe I didn't think that I was worth it. I wasn't clear on my value of the services, right? And then, of course, I was afraid if I raised my rates that the clients that I did have, that I loved to work with, would leave. And then I would have nobody, nothing. And there goes my security and my financial safety, right? So you can kind of see how what David was saying about how you've got the subconscious programming to protect these specific parts of your psyche, and that the minute that you try to do something that forces you outside of your comfort zone, you are going to run into all that programming. It's going to get activated. And, we just want to remember that that's because we do have this part of our brain that its entire function is to keep us safe and to help us survive, right? So we don't consciously call upon these programs to run. This is all subconscious, meaning beneath the level of your conscious awareness. So let me show you what this looks like. So in some of his seminars, David used to make this fun diagram. I have recreated it in a very simple way. His is definitely cooler than mine, but I took my own crack at it. Okay, so what this is here, okay, is where we are right now. Okay, so let's say that you have a goal, and let's say that your goal is to quit smoking, right? Maybe you're a smoker and you want to quit smoking, right? So your goal of being a non-smoker would be over here. Yay, happy face, there's my goal. But where you are currently is right here, okay? So typically, where you are is right here, and it's just, for me, I am like to the right of the comfort zone, where the comfort zone starts. So these two poles represent your comfort zone, okay? And so typically when you decide that you want to change your life and change a habit, or start a business or do whatever it is that you want to do, you are here, right at the edge there of your comfort zone. And you can see that face was like, not particularly happy, but not particularly sad. It's kind of like, I'm comfortable. Well, in order to get from here, the smoker, to here, the non-smoker, to experience all the freedom and health here, you have to move through your comfort zone to get out the other side, because as illustrated, your goal, if it's a worthy goal, it's on the other side of your comfort zone. Is not going to be anywhere in your comfort zone. It's going to push you out of your comfort zone. And that's what makes it great, okay? If you guys ever saw the movie A League of Their Own, when Tom Hanks says, it's what he said, Gina Davis tries to quit the team, and she's like, it just got too hard. And he says, that's what makes it great. If it wasn't hard, everyone would be doing it. It's the hard that makes it great. Oh, God, love that, Penny Marshall. That's a good movie too, A League of Their Own. Check it out if you want to feel inspired. Okay, so let's go back to my fun little map here. Okay, so what's interesting is between these two poles, it's not like a vacuum. There's not like a void there, right? Instead, there's these wavy lines. And these wavy lines represent the fear barriers. They are the various levels of discomfort, layers of discomfort, or you could say areas of discomfort that you have to move through to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And David would say in his seminars, he would say, the question for you is, as you leave your comfort zone and you move towards your goal, you're going to bump in to these layers of discomfort. And the question is, at what point will you stop? Will the discomfort be so great that you stop, turn around, and come back to where you started, right? Because you're going to have to get all the way through to get to where you want to go. But this layer, let's say in the smoking example, right? A person might be all jazzed up to quit smoking, but as they stop buying cigarettes and they go through their first day without, a cigarette, they might bump into this right here, which is, smoking was their stress relief technique, and all of a sudden they're experiencing all kinds of stress and they don't have that crutch to get through it, right? So there's a layer of discomfort. But maybe they're like, no, it's okay. I'll meditate. I'll breathe, right? I'll drink some water. I'll get through it. They push through there, and then they bump into this layer of discomfort. This layer of discomfort might be that perhaps smoking was part of their identity. Maybe it let them feel like, I have a carefree, je ne sais quoi, I feel very French. I'm very, it's part of their identity. It's part of their persona. It's part of who they kind of identify themselves to be. And giving that up is hard. It's not just hard. It feels like suddenly they don't know who they are, right? That can be enough for some people to be like, heck with this. I'm going back and getting those cigarettes. This layer of discomfort might be that perhaps their spouse, partner, best friend still smokes, and they're just constantly exposed to the temptation of it, right? And the cravings are so much so you can see, like, they have to move through each of those layers of discomfort before they can arrive at their destination of being a non-smoker. So when you see it mapped out like that, does that help you a little bit to kind of go, okay, it's not that you don't have what it takes. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you don't deserve or aren't worthy of reaching your goal. You can make up all those stories, and most of us do that without being aware of the fact that that is an optional way to go through life. We don't have to tell ourselves, I'm just not smart enough, or I can't do it, or I don't have willpower. There's all kinds of stories we can tell ourselves, and those are limiting beliefs. They're beliefs that got created because as we moved through life, things happened, and our way to deal with that and make sense of it was to create a belief around it. And usually, by the time we're 7 years old, we've already created at least one core belief about ourselves and the world as we experience it. So these beliefs are there, but we can question them. You always have two choices when it comes to the beliefs that you hold about yourself, your ability, in your life and the world around you even. You can validate the belief. You can go, yep, it's true. And then you see it everywhere. And each time you see it, you validate it and go, yep, there it is. That's the truth. See, I knew I wasn't smart enough. Here it is again. But you can also question it. So if you question it, it would look something like this. Let's say that I was trying to quit smoking and I tried it before and a bunch of times and it never stuck. I always wound up, going back to it. I might then have created a belief based on history, right, and empirical evidence that I don't have any follow through. I cannot finish what I start. I just don't have the willpower. Now, given my history, as I just explained it, there would be a lot of reason for me to believe that to be true. But as long as I'm believing that to be true about myself, I will never quit smoking, will I? I mean, why would I, right? I don't believe it's possible. And if I don't believe it, I'll never see it. Usually people say I got to see it to believe it. It's actually the other way around. You have to believe that it's possible. Otherwise, there's no reason for it to be impossible. So I encourage you to take a look at the beliefs that you currently have about yourself. And the way that you can do this is, if you do journaling, like in the morning or at night before you go to bed, and you just write, the beliefs I have about myself are, I am a kind person. I'm lazy. I am a go-getter. I am easily overwhelmed. I love people. I don't feel comfortable in social situations, right? These are beliefs that we have about ourselves that are based off of our experience with ourselves. It's very interesting when you start to see what your beliefs are. And in my work, I help my clients understand that there's actually 3 core beliefs that are underneath all those other beliefs. And those are the beliefs that we deal with and work with when we're processing, our negative emotions around experiences that we're having, and we're trying to, create breakthroughs in our life, whether it's in relationships or finances or physical health. So what we do is we really examine which of these core beliefs, which of these 3 core beliefs are driving this experience, and how can we see that differently? And it always starts by questioning them. So I encourage you to take a look. Where are you right now on this map, right? Like, are you here? Are you here? Are you here? Are you about to turn around? Did you just come back here? Are you here? Yay, you did it. But if you're here and you're like, or maybe you got to here, but you just turned around and now you're back here. Don't worry. You're not going to stay here very long. Each time that we, take a crack at it and we give up or it doesn't work out, we retreat back to our comfort zone. You have made those strides. So that's a muscle memory within you. That's an awareness within you. You know how to get to that level again, and you'll get there much more quickly. But then it comes down to, what is that next layer of discomfort that seems to be a stop sign for you, and what is that about? And that becomes your next opportunity for healing. So any goal that's worthy of us to move out of our comfort is going to be on the other side of our comfort zone, right? Let me say that again. That came out in a total jumble. So any worthy goal that you have is going to be on the other side of your comfort zone. It's not going to be in the comfort zone, right? And your comfort zone is filled with thoughts and beliefs that you have, and moving towards the goal is going to cause you to bump up against them, and it's going to cause you to challenge those beliefs. So it definitely helps to have, some sort of program that you use to really make sure that your mindset is clear and empowered and strong, and also to nurture yourself when the going gets tough. Always be able to just, hug yourself and be on your own side. And, that's what I love to do. I help people to love and accept themselves even as they're going through challenging experiences. And there's really cool ways that we can do that, So I just enjoy sharing these tips and these thoughts with you. And I hope that it makes your day a little bit more insightful and empowered. So talk to you soon, and I can't wait to hear about the goals that you have, that you're moving towards, or the challenges that you're facing that you're not quite sure how to get through. So please visit me at Inspired Healing and Awareness on Facebook, and you can also post a comment here on YouTube, and I'll see you soon.